Hey, folks, can you hear me now? Good. Okay, very good. Anyway, folks, here we are. I want to bring a point up, and that point is simply this. The point is, what we need to do is continue to resist. Okay? We need to fight for what we believe in and what is true. The truth. You know, we often hear in the Patriot movement, we hear, truth. Truth, truth, truth. Well, let me tell you something. The truth is this. The truth is we've got them cornered. The truth is they don't like this at all. So what they're going to do is they're going to try and break us. You know? They want to take away our rights as much as possible. And we, folks, have free will. I've said it on many shows before, and I'll say it again. We have free will. Sometimes you don't realize that we do, but we do. And I got news for you. It is going to happen one way or another. This is going to come to a head. Either it's going to come to a head as far as we're on a positive side for us, or it's not, but it's up to us. And you cannot feed into the fear that they're trying to strike in your hearts by doing the things like, well, if you go and you're in line and you get out, then we're going to arrest you. Then go ahead, arrest me. Because in a court of law, if it's a court of law, then they have absolutely nothing. You're standing in a line. What am I doing? I'm standing in a line. So, I see a lot of talk, about, hey, I think Sunnyside One in the chat room just said, are we close on a tipping point? What do you think, Griff? Do you think we're close on a tipping point here?
I think Cliff High was right on his chart and on his dates. I think we're experiencing that downward slope right now, and I think this is only the beginning. Joe, if you were on an airplane, you're sitting back there with the passengers, and the Obama administration was flying the plane and they were in the cabin, and you saw them cutting the engines off deliberately one by one, and you saw the plan to put the airplane into a dive into the ground and kill everybody on the plane, what would you do?
If I had foreknowledge of that?
If you were sitting there watching them do it.
I always carry an ink pen with me, Griff, and people don't realize just how important it is to carry an ink pen with them.
The pen is mightier than the sword?
It truly is in some instances, because you can stick that
when used as a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. But if it was me and I knew, I would do anything at all costs to make sure that didn't happen.
That's right. Well, that's the situation that we're facing today. And many people are not aware of it because they've been taught not to have opinions and not to make judgments and not to profile. I heard a commentator on the radio today emphatically say that the United States would never, never profile the people coming through the airports. Well, that is BS.
Yeah.
They need to get off their asses and do what's necessary to save the people and save the country. Otherwise, we're going to be in the French resistance business here pretty soon. That is the only way you're ever going to turn this thing around.
That's right.
The Congress is not going to listen to the people. They don't care about hearing from the people. They're sitting up there, giving themselves pay raises, feathering their nest, and ignoring the people. And many of them are not even in tune. They don't know as much as we do. I was told that the other day. I was told that by one of the staffers. He was surprised. I was talking to him, and he was quite surprised. He said, we don't know that. And more. Talk is cheap, and we can regurgitate and go over and over and over and give examples. There is no law requiring you to pay income tax. You will not find a law that requires the people to pay income tax to the government. But yet everybody does it. Now, why do they do it? It's because the government has the guns and the courts, and they will put you in the penitentiary if you don't do it. But there is no law.
Right.
Do you know that,
you're absolutely
don't you?
right. Yeah, of course I know. Yeah.
Well, why do
absolutely.
you pay tax?
Because it's like what happens when you miss a mob payment? You know,
They
what
kill
do? They come and they break your legs, or they kill you. They give you a new pair of shoes.
Tony Soprano would do that.
Yeah, well, exactly right. And what's the difference?
There is no difference, but that's what we're facing. The legal has no bearing whatsoever, and if you think you can win a case in court, the chances are remote that you would win against the government. First of all, you don't have enough money to pay the lawyers. The government can take a case forever and use your tax money to pay the lawyers to fight you and put you in prison. Justice and freedom, they're just words. You have to fight for it. That's why the government has been trying for many years to take the guns away from the American people. We're the only country on the face of the earth that under law, so far, the people are legally have the right to keep firearms.
That's
and
right.
They're trying to take that away from us. Now, when they take that away from us, we're gone.
That's
that
right.
will never happen, Griff. If they try it, you know it'll happen. That's one thing I feel good about. If they try it, even if only 1% say hell no, it's not going to happen. It'll be a big mess, but it's not going to happen.
Well, all they have to do then is spray us one time from one airplane.
That's true. They could do that
and we'd
too.
lose.
Yeah, they got a lot of airplanes for that.
Well, it just takes one. Keep it up there.
Yep.
That's right.
You know something? Now here, Andrew. And I want to put this out to the audience and anybody that listens in the archive. You know, the last resort that you want to resort to is violence. Of course, you don't want to be violent. I don't want to be violent. I would rather that my government and me, we all get together, we sit in a circle, we sing Kumbaya, and life goes on. Love, peace, and harmony abound. You know? But the fact of the matter is, folks, that before we even get there, how about we show? And I'm not talking. I'm preaching to the choir with this audience here. I understand that, but the American people. Why? How about we just show a little bit of interest? Instead of just standing there with that glazed look in your eye, getting fondled, or getting strip searched by these thugs. And that's what they are. And I know the TSA guys are just doing their jobs and everything else. No, you want to know something? Think. You got to think with the frickin' melon that God gave you. If you're doing your job, and I'm sure that they. What do you think, Griff? Do you think they had to take an oath because they are a federal employee?
I don't know, Joe.
I wonder if they did. As a matter of fact, I'm sure that they had to take an oath to support and defend the Constitution. So, if you value your oath, TSA agents, then you know that you can't do what you're doing if you value your oath. So, that's my feel on it. That's my take. And and Andrew, no, your audio is just fine now, man.
Right. Question for you.
No, pardon me, it's choppy as hell outside of that. Now I want to go to the phones and bring on our friend Brian from South Carolina. He's always good with a good comment. Brian, you're live on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Joe. Hey, AC, Andrew, John. I got a comment on it. My thoughts on it. I flew 2 years ago, and I endured a pat down, and I had to take my shoes off and X-rayed the crap out of everything I had in my pockets along with the shoes, and then I walked through the metal detector. I don't have a problem with it. Now, if the guy had stuck his hands in my pants, I'd have probably said, "Shit, I'm going home. This isn't worth it." Excuse me for saying that, but I mean, I'd have been freaked out. I don't understand that part of it. And I don't really understand why you need to do anything else. If you give someone a good pat down and you walk through the metal detector, you take your shoes off, your cell phone, your wallet, put it in the tray, they X-ray the heck out of it, they X-ray the heck out of whatever your carry-on bag and stuff. There's nothing's going to get over there. I've got a couple of ideas. I thought I'd let them out the bag on this show. Why put security dogs, But then again, who knows how much narcotics is being shipped by air that they don't want to find. So maybe that's why they don't put security dogs in the airports. Those dogs can smell explosives, black powder. I mean, I guarantee if you've got C4 in your toothpaste, they're going to smell it. You can't get around them. And but the thing about putting their hands in your pants, that's gross. I don't understand it. Also, why not have airline clothes? I mean, you come to the airport with pre-approved clothes on, and you know you have to do a change when you get off the airplane. But you know, I'd be willing to go with that. I would much rather do that than have to go through that X-ray machine. Now, when I fly every 2 years, it's no big deal. But if you're like my uncle and you're in an airplane once a week, eventually you're going to be in trouble from taking that much radiation.
Now, let me tell you this. Let me interrupt you for a second, Brian, and say this: when you compromise like that, that's the entire reason why we're in the situation where we're at now. And the fact of the matter is, the Fourth Amendment is abundantly clear when it says that you are protected from unreasonable searches and seizure unless there's probable cause, and if there is probable cause, they need to get a warrant. So get a warrant.
Right.
If they're so concerned about safety and there's so much probable cause that causes them to fear an impending attack or whatever, no problem. Then you get a warrant. You know what? Station a judge at every airport and have them there 24/7 to issue warrants anytime they feel that somebody is going to do that. We have rights in this country that are given to us by our Creator, and no human being, no man or woman or anybody else can take those away from us. Nobody. They don't have that power. And the only reason why they're perceived to have that power is simply because we let them do it. That's why. It's because we're subservient.
Well, there again, I mean, I just don't see what the big deal is about a pat down. Not if it's done professionally now. Now, I don't mean unprofessionally, but professionally. There's a big difference. Because I like the peace of mind on the airplane. I mean, I've been on the plane with people that I highly suspected. It's not a good feeling. When the guy gets up, goes to the bathroom, doesn't come back for 10 minutes, you can't help but think. Another good thing would be some sort of an aptitude test. Now, I don't mean one that points guys like us out. Do you own a gun? Have you ever been on a Patriot show? Are you a caller? Are you a that's where it's probably going, because I guarantee you, they're going to have Gomer Powell in there. They're going to strip search us, and he's going to let you know that's not my finger, buddy.
Well, here's another thing too. Here's another thing too.
It's going to be a rubber glove. It's going to be a condom, probably.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And let me bring in John King on this, because I think he feels pretty strongly about this. Go ahead, John.
If memory serves me, guys, Ben Franklin said those that give up a little liberty and freedom for a little security deserve neither, and that's exactly what's going on right here, folks. It starts off with a little bit of intrusion with the TSA at the airports, but pretty soon, and this isn't a large leap of imagination, but you're going to need to go through metal detectors at your high school. Oh, that's right, you do that now. Well, maybe they're going to pat you down and maybe strip search you when you go to your kid's basketball game. I would much rather live in fear and have all my rights and liberties than live like a slave and be safe by the U.S. government. Let me just add that the TSA never stopped one terrorist, nor did they ever stop one bomb. I would get on an airplane with